Do you know that eating just one wrong bite of seafood could be deadly for seniors over 50? According to the CDC, Vibrio vulnificus causes about 80,000 illnesses and 100 deaths every year in the US, and older adults with weaker immune systems are at the highest risk. And the shocking part? Most cases start with common seafood mistakes that many people make without realizing it. Hey, welcome back to Nutrition for Seniors. Today, we're going to uncover 5 dangerous seafood mistakes that can put seniors over 50 at serious risk of Vibrio vulnificus infection and how you can stay safe. Stick around until mistake number 5 because it's the one even healthy people often ignore, but it's the most dangerous for seniors with diabetes or liver problem. Before exploring the 5 most common seafood mistakes, it is important to understand the real threat behind them: Vibrio vulnificus. This bacterium is naturally found in warm coastal waters, particularly during the summer months when seawater temperatures rise above 68 DFE, DEC. Unlike many pathogens that are introduced through contamination, Vibrio is part of the marine environment itself, which makes it impossible to detect by appearance, smell, or taste. Seafood such as oysters, clams, and fish harvested from these waters may carry the bacteria without showing any visible signs of spoilage. The danger of Vibrio vulnificus lies in both its aggressiveness and its rapid progression once it infects the human body. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, approximately 80,000 cases of Vibrio infections occur in the United States each year, with around 100 resulting in death. While not all infections are caused by Vibrio vulnificus, this specific species is the most severe, responsible for life-threatening bloodstream infections and necrotizing skin infections. Once ingested through raw or undercooked seafood, or introduced into the body through an open wound exposed to seawater, the bacteria can spread quickly. Symptoms may begin with stomach pain, diarrhea, vomiting, fever, or chills, but in severe cases they escalate to septicemia, blistering skin lesions, and dangerously low blood pressure. The mortality rate for bloodstream infections caused by Vibrio vulnificus is estimated to be 20–30%, making it one of the deadliest foodborne pathogens. Seniors over 50 are at particularly high risk. As people age, their immune systems naturally weaken, reducing their ability to fight off bacterial infections. Moreover, many older adults live with chronic conditions that increase vulnerability. Research shows that individuals with liver disease, diabetes, or compromised immunity are up to 80 times more likely to develop severe illness from Vibrio vulnificus compared to healthy individuals. Even a single exposure through one raw oyster or a small wound can lead to catastrophic outcomes in this population. Understanding the nature of Vibrio vulnificus highlights why careful seafood handling and preparation are essential, especially for seniors. While seafood can be a valuable source of protein, omega-3 fatty acids, and essential nutrients, the risks cannot be ignored. By avoiding certain mistakes, older adults can significantly lower their risk of infection and continue enjoying seafood safely. Mistake 1: eating raw oysters or clams. Many people think raw oysters are a delicacy, but for people over 50, they can be deadly. Vibrio bacteria love warm seawater, and they can survive inside oysters and clams. Cooking kills the bacteria, but eating them raw gives the germs a free ride into your body. According to the CDC, over half of serious Vibrio cases are linked to raw oysters, and for seniors, the risk is even higher. If you have diabetes, liver disease, or a weaker immune system, just one raw oyster could lead to a severe bloodstream infection. Mortality rate can be as high as 1 in 3 cases. It's not just a stomachache, it's life-threatening. Nutritionally, oysters and clams are often praised for their protein, zinc, and vitamin B12 content. However, these benefits are overshadowed by the microbial hazards when consumed raw. Cooking these shellfish thoroughly until their shells open and internal temperatures reach at least 145 DGF, 63 DGDCC, destroys Vibrio and other pathogens, making them safe to eat. In contrast, eating them raw leaves seniors exposed to a hidden but serious danger. The scientific evidence is clear. Raw oysters and clams should not be considered safe delicacies for people over 50. The combination of higher susceptibility to infection, higher case fatality rates, and the unpredictable presence of Vibrio vulnificus in shellfish makes this habit one of the most hazardous seafood mistakes seniors can make. For those seeking both flavor and safety, the only reliable choice is to enjoy these shellfish fully cooked. Mistake 2. Poor seafood storage. Seafood is one of the most delicate foods we eat, and when it is not stored properly, it quickly becomes a breeding ground for harmful bacteria. The FDA clearly warns that seafood should never be left out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. On hot summer days when the temperature is above 90 DGF, the safe window is just 1 hour. This matters because bacteria like Vibrio vulnificus can multiply every 20 minutes, turning a piece of fish that looks fresh into something very dangerous for seniors. For adults over 50, the risks are even higher. A piece of seafood forgotten on the kitchen counter overnight doesn't just taste bad, it could cause a life-threatening infection. The CDC notes that if Vibrio enters the bloodstream, it can cause septicemia, which has a 20–30% fatality rate. Seniors with conditions like diabetes or liver disease are far more likely to suffer severe outcomes. Safe habits: always store fresh seafood in the refrigerator at 40 DEGF, 4 DEGC or lower, and cook it within 1–2 days. If you freeze it, keep it at 0 DEGF, 18 DEGC. Remember, freezing stops bacteria from growing but does not kill Vibrio. That means cooking is still necessary. Also, when buying seafood, avoid products that are not kept on ice or refrigerated. With just a little care in storage, seniors can continue enjoying seafood safely without letting dangerous bacteria take over their meal. Mistake 3. Cross-contamination in the kitchen. One of the most overlooked risks in seafood preparation is cross-contamination. This happens when bacteria from raw seafood spread to other foods or kitchen surfaces. For example, imagine chopping raw shrimp on a cutting board and then using the same board to slice tomatoes for a salad. Even if the shrimp is cooked later, the bacteria left behind on the tomatoes, which are eaten raw, can make you sick. According to the USDA, nearly 48 million Americans suffer from foodborne illnesses each year, and cross-contamination is a major cause. For seniors, the danger is much greater because the immune system becomes less efficient with age. Vibrio vulnificus, in particular, can spread quickly once it enters the digestive system, sometimes leading to bloodstream infections, with a fatality rate up to 1 in 3 cases. Safe habits: use separate cutting boards, one for raw seafood and another for fresh produce. Wash knives, counters, and hands thoroughly with warm, soapy water after handling raw seafood. Sanitize kitchen surfaces with a mild bleach solution to kill invisible bacteria. Keep seafood in sealed, leak-proof containers in the fridge so that juices don't drip onto other foods. These simple steps may sound small, but they can make the difference between a healthy meal and a hospital visit. Seniors can continue enjoying seafood by practicing safe kitchen habits that stop bacteria from spreading. Mistake 4. Ignoring wounds when handling seafood. Not all Vibrio infections come from eating seafood. In fact, nearly 20% of Vibrio vulnificus cases are caused by the bacteria entering through open cuts, scrapes, or even small cracks in the skin. This can happen when handling raw seafood at home or when touching seawater where Vibrio naturally thrives. For seniors, this is especially risky. As we age, our skin becomes thinner and more fragile, making it easier for bacteria to enter. Once Vibrio gets into a wound, it can cause severe skin and soft tissue infections. Some cases require hospitalization, surgery, or even amputation. Worse, these infections can spread to the bloodstream within 24 to 48 hours, with a fatality rate of about 20%. Seniors with diabetes, liver disease, or weaker immune systems face an even higher risk. Safe habits: always wear waterproof gloves when handling raw seafood if you have any cuts or scrapes. Wash wounds immediately with soap and clean water and cover them with dry bandages before cooking or shopping for seafood. If a wound becomes red, swollen, or painful after exposure to seafood, and especially if fever develops, seek medical care right away. This may seem like a small detail, but for people over 50, ignoring even a minor cut can have life-threatening consequences. Protecting your skin is just as important as cooking your seafood properly. Mistake 5. Eating undercooked fish or street seafood. Another dangerous mistake is eating seafood that is undercooked or purchased from street vendors. Many people think that lightly grilling or half-steaming fish is enough to kill harmful bacteria, but Vibrio vulnificus can survive unless the seafood reaches an internal temperature of 145 ddF, 63 degrees C. Street seafood adds another level of risk. Vendors may not keep proper refrigeration, allowing bacteria to multiply quickly in warm outdoor temperatures. Raw and cooked foods are often handled on the same surfaces, increasing the chance of contamination. Younger adults may fight off mild infections, but for seniors, an undercooked piece of seafood can cause severe illness or worse. The CDC and FDA strongly warn that only thorough cooking makes seafood safe. Seniors with diabetes, liver conditions, or weaker immune defenses should avoid raw preparations like sushi, ceviche, or half-steamed clams. Safe habits. Always cook fish until it flakes easily and reaches 145 dF inside. When dining out, choose restaurants that visibly practice good food safety. Avoid roadside or street seafood stalls where refrigeration and hygiene may not be guaranteed. For seniors over 50, avoiding undercooked or street seafood is not about giving up enjoyment, it is about protecting health and longevity. With careful choices, you can still enjoy seafood while keeping the hidden dangers of Vibrio at bay. So remember, avoiding raw oysters, storing seafood properly, preventing cross-contamination, protecting open wounds, and making sure your fish is fully cooked. These 5 steps could literally save your life after 50. What's your favorite seafood dish, and how do you make sure it's safe? Share your tips in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss more health and nutrition tips for seniors. Eat smart, stay safe, and age strong.